Okay, so on example 3, I want to factor this. I notice it's a trinomial. It's a second degree trinomial, and the leading coefficient is 1, which tells me that it factors into 2 binomials. So I kind of use the opposite of FOIL. I think the first terms multiply together to get x squared, so I know that that would be x and x. I know that the last term has to multiply together to get 12, so that gives me a couple of options. 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4, and I notice that it has to add together to get another 8, a negative 8. So I look at all of these. None of these are going to add together to get a negative number because they're all positive. However, I know that a negative times a negative also equals a positive. So this could be a negative 1 times a negative 12, a negative 2 times a negative 6, and a negative 3 times a negative 4. All of these sets of factors would equal 12. So now I look and see which one, when I add them together, would equal a negative 8. These, if I added them, would equal a negative 7. If I added those, would equal a negative 8. And if I added those, would equal a negative 13. So I see that this follows both stipulations. If I multiply them together, it equals a positive 12. But if I combine them, it equals a negative 8. So I could check through that and think if I multiplied x times x, I'd get x squared. X times a negative 6 would be a negative 6x. Negative 2 times x, negative 2x. And a negative 2 times a negative 6 would be a positive 12. So again, just self-checking. When I multiply them together, I see that I am right because it is x squared minus 8x plus 12. So here's my answer. Now, we don't always have to go through all of